Welcome to Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 9, verses 1 through 12. Starts off like other chapters. Listen up, Israel. He says, you're about to cross over the Jordan, and you're going to come up against a people they're like giants. And you're going to come up against nations that are more numerous and stronger than you. Their cities are stout and tall. Their people are big and tall. And the same people that your parents said, who can stand against them? Well, you're going to stand against them because the Lord is going before you. In fact, he says that the Lord God will go before them as a devouring fire that will destroy and subdue these people before them, that will drive them out and annihilate them. Israel is to be made aware that they're being used by God to accomplish God's will, not their objectives, God's objectives. And he says in verse 4, don't assume that you're so righteous, that you're better than these folks in any great way, because you are still a rebellious, stick-necked, wavering people. It's because of their wickedness is just more wicked than you. And just because you have this comparative sin scale, well, I'm a sinner, but not as bad of a sinner as them, that doesn't count to God, right? And 4 times in the chapter 9 of Deuteronomy, God says, don't think you're more righteous, or it's because of your righteousness that you're getting in. No. You're not righteous. You don't have integrity. Remember and never forget that you aroused God's wrath. You are corrupt. You worship the Lord in idolatrous ways. You're always teetering on the brink. And I want you to think about how, just like the Israelites, we turn things that are supposed to be focused towards God, we turn them into an idol. Whether it's our building, whether it's the congregation itself, the pastor, the stained glass windows, our families, the list goes on and on. We take the blessings that God gives us and we turn those into the thing that we worship, rather than worshiping the one who gives them, provides them, and rescues and redeems us. And so he says, your forefathers, says in verse 12, that after I brought you out of Egypt, even though you've seen all the ways that I redeemed you, you became corrupt. Remember, you were down at Horeb, and I went up on the mountain and I was worshiping with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights, and I come down with the stone tablets, and you guys had fashioned a golden calf to say, oh, this represents Yahweh, and how quickly you turned from what you were commanded. How quickly you turned from the revelation that God had given them to their own inspiration and what their minds made them think. And so they became corrupt, turned quickly. Their wickedness, was there. And I think that's the thing that, God is trying to say in chapter 9. The nations before Israel are being pushed aside because of their wickedness. Israel is going not because of their righteousness. They're not much better. It's because God's promise. That's why Israel's going in, because God made a promise, and God is so stubborn, he's going to keep his promise. Well, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.